So, good morning. Second Thessalonians today is really showing me quite a bit of stuff that's sticking out to me. And I really wanted to get your take on something, but I also wanted to give my perspective on something here as well. Um, so, in Second Thessalonians, it's a mouthful. In Second Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3, it says, "Let no one deceive you by any means, for that day will not come unless the falling away comes first and the man of sin is revealed, the son of perdition, who exposes and exalts himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he sits as God in the temple, showing himself that he is God." So that really stood out to me. So I kind of went on a rabbit trail. So in the Tree of Life version, it says pretty much the same. "Let no one deceive you in any way, for the day will not come unless the rebellion comes first, and the man of lawlessness is revealed, to one destined to be destroyed. He opposes and exalts himself over every so-called God of or worship or object of worship, so that he sits in the temple of God, proclaiming himself that he is God." And then I read the complete Jewish version, and it says, where are we? Okay. "Don't let anyone deceive you in any way, for the day will not come until after the apostasy has come, and the man who separates himself from Torah has been revealed." That's very different sounding, yes? "The one destined for doom." Are we destined for doom when we separate ourselves from Torah? It's a very good question to ask yourself. "He will oppose himself to everything that people call a god or make an object of worship, and he will put himself above them all, so that he will sit in the temple of God and proclaim that he himself is God." Okay, so this is what stood out to me. Because I don't live in a bubble, and I encounter a lot of different people in my life. So I've been exposed to a lot of different ideologies and stuff like that. I feel like this has already happened. Follow me here. I feel like we get over-consumed with one person when it comes to the man of lawlessness. I think that all of us have the opportunity to be the man of lawlessness, that it's not just the Antichrist. Paul says many antichrists have already gone out into the world. That dog drives me crazy. There are many antichrists. So what does it mean to be antichrist? It means to be opposed to what is in this book. Okay, it means to be opposed to the Messiah himself. So we have a whole lot of religious people in the world who are actually antichrist. Okay? But this is what really stood out to me, is that he exalts himself above all other gods and sits in the temple showing himself that he is God. Do you guys realize that we have an ant problem is what we have? I got ants all over the place out here, and they're not happy that I'm sitting at their table. Do you guys realize that we have entire churches full of what's called New Thought Christians? If you don't know what this is, you need to go find out what it is, because these New Thought Christians are fulfilling this Bible verse. Yeah, because New Thought Christians believe that they are God. They believe that they are God. they are divine and they have forgotten their divinity. That's what they believe. So they sit in the temple believing they are God. When they preach at you, they preach from a point of view that they are God. So this man of lawlessness, that's them. It's not a man, it's many. It's an entire church full of people who think they're divine. I had one living with me last year. The way they believe is absolutely bonkers. And anybody who has a solid foundation in the Bible will feel incredibly confused and conflicted when they're around these people. They will take everything that you think you know about this Bible, and it's like a rug that they pull out from under your feet, because they spin everything. So what are your thoughts on this passage? I have contended for a long time that the beast is not a person, it's a system. I have contended for a long time that there are many antichrists. It's not going to be just one. It's going to be many. I mean, we see this even in our own government. We see people operating and leading our country in a very antichrist fashion. Well, they might call on the name of God, but who is their God? Right? Like, they might call on God. They might say, oh, thank the Lord for this, but who is their Lord? Who is their master? Is it them? Because you have to clarify these things nowadays. And we need to wake up to this, because many Christians are believing that they are divine and that they have simply forgotten their spark of divinity. That people who are walking with God, who don't realize they're divine, have not been woken up yet. So this is very interesting. This is a book, Thessalonians. It's very, very small. Both 1 and 2 are very, very small. And I never really spent a lot of time in these books. So when I pick up my Bible to read, I like to read things that I haven't read thoroughly or examined thoroughly. So last night I started in 2 Thessalonians 1. This morning I picked up in 2 Thessalonians 2. And it's showing me so much already. So tell me what your thoughts are on this passage. I'd be very interested to have a conversation about it. I don't always assume that I'm right. I just want to share with you what the Lord put on my heart when I heard that. So we already have the man of lawlessness revealed. We don't have to guess who he is. He's around us every day. He's around us. We see him in our family. We see him in our friends. We see him in bad ideologies. We see him in bad behaviors. You know, here's the thing, you guys. When we think of evil, we tend to think of the extremes, right? The obvious stuff, you know, people who are, you know, gossips and murderers and you know, baby killers or whatever the case may be. That's our idea of evil. But sometimes evil is sitting right next to you at church. And we do not account for that. We think just because they're at church, they're okay. But there are so many people sitting in churches today that don't understand who the God of this Bible is. They don't understand what their purpose is according to the God of this. Not according to them, according to this Bible, what their purpose is. And they're making their own way. And that's lawless. That's Israel doing what is right in its own sight. So, in its own eyes. So, evil is sitting right next to you all the time. And it behooves us to know right from wrong so that we can properly judge evil. Okay? That's my point of contention. I'm going to share this. I hope you all comment, because I'm very interested as to what you think about this. But this is just what's on my heart today. Love you all. Shalom.